We are recording.
Perfect.
Welcome to May, you guys. How exciting was April? Like, seriously, so exciting. So we just put the numbers together just to go over Success Club, and it is like the craziest. You guys blew it out of the water, and brand new coaches smoked some of us, like me. Like, you guys are just on fire, like completely on fire, and you're setting the tone and the pace for the rest of the team, and we are so proud of you and so excited because we know it's hard, especially as new coaches. Even if you're just still a few months in, it's honestly, it almost never gets any easier. You just kind of get used to the stuff as it comes, so you roll with the punches better. But the way you guys are handling it and still pushing forward and pushing through, even with life around you and all the life stuff that just goes to show that you guys want this and you can make it work, and you really are the proof that this business works, right? Like, no matter what, if somebody wants it to happen, it's going to happen. So with that, I'm going to share my screen and just we can go over.
And we'll post this in the team page too, because I think it's going to get recognition. No,
I don't know what I did with this.
Do you want me to save it on my computer?
Yeah, if you can do it. I have like so many windows open and it's not showing me which one it's on.
Okay, let me save it really quick and open it.
I think that's my problem. I didn't save it and I was trying to open it from the message I sent you.
Oh, gotcha. Here, I'll just share my screen and I can save it. Ta-da! Can you guys all see that?
Yay!
Yeah, you guys freaking Elise, like you there with 2 babies on your lap. Look at you. You freaking killed it. Nicole, like, again, you're typing me, and I know that those numbers are not easy to pull. So also, one thing too is, like, you will go through months where things come super easy to you, and I can guarantee you're going to go through months where you've been hitting Success Club 10 plus and you're struggling to get to 5 and it's going to get in your head. Know that happens to us too. So we want to celebrate big with you, but don't, know that there will be harder months too. Not that it's an excuse to not hit it, but we're just super proud of you.
Yeah. You know what I wanted to say too is I know Nicole had said she wasn't really feeling it and in her groove and, just had a lot of stuff going on. And I see her post with the baby stuff and they're not sleeping. And I'm just like, she's freaking at the top right now. You know what I mean? So it just really goes to prove to me, even to everybody, that it doesn't matter. If we want this, we want it, and we'll make it happen no matter what. So
I'm going to be coming, Elise, to you for advice in about 3 weeks once I have a baby. And I'm like, okay, teach me how to do this with 2 little kids from home. Because right now I can at least get lunch break in at work to get work done.
Yeah.
Good work, ladies. We're so proud of you. I don't know. The other announcements we had, kind of ones that we already know. I posted the calendar in the team page. So I guess I could pull that up. That might be helpful, huh? Let's look that over. But let me open that up really quick here. But May 11th, for those of you guys pushing for Diamond for Summit qualifications, that's the date that you want to have it by. I think it's a good date to shoot for anyways, but that's the specific one to do that. Hold on. Sorry, you guys get to see all my Facebook stuff right now. My sister-in-law is messaging me about this baby. I'm having a baby on the 23rd, hopefully. So getting really sweaty thinking about that. It stresses me out. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to pull this up and see if you guys have any questions on it. Obviously, have you guys all seen the calendar before? Yeah. So we do this not to lock you in that you have to do it this way, but I just think it's nice for me. I'm pretty visual to have at least kind of a plan of action. So I always my goal would be to hit Success Club 5 by the 5th, just so that, or at least within the first 2 weeks for sure, because that just kind of takes the pressure off the month where you can stop focusing on hitting Success Club and really focus on moving your business forward with other strategies. And then 10, because for me, it's always the goal to hit Success Club 10. So these are just kind of outlining what you're kind of talking about in your posts, moving from your challenge groups to the second half of the month being coaching jabs specifically, and really thinking ahead to the fact that you have Memorial Day at the end of the month, so people are going to be focused on the holidays. What are you going to do with that? Like, could you do maybe, and I didn't put it in here, but like you could do like maybe a little mini free group this week talking about, clean eating barbecue recipes or things like that. Like, how are you going to incorporate the holidays? How are you going to talk about Mother's Day? While still kind of moving your business forward in a month that is kind of this transitional month of like kids are still in school, but people are thinking ahead to summer, kind of this funny time here. So Monique, I don't know if you have thoughts on that at all.
No, I think that that's really good. And, this kind of just goes along with what we're going to talk about today. We definitely, Abby and I haven't done it in a lot of months, but you'll see on here that we added a free group. So we're definitely doing a free group this month. It's not going to be related to health and fitness at all. So you can see it's a business tip free group.
We have 2 on here. Just so
we're doing one with the business tips. The other free group we're actually doing focused on moms. So again, it's not really like a clean eating group or a crock pot group or anything like that. We're specifically tailoring it to our niche that we're pushing for. And this month our focus is on moms. So that's, and it can be for all of you, honestly. I mean,
we could just throw everyone in.
Yeah, Mother's Day is May. So if you guys wanted to invite to that, we're going to be running that if you wanted to do something on your own. But the free groups, and like I said, we're going to get into that. That's what this call is about. Doing those, making sure that you set them up whenever if you're not going to follow our calendar exactly. And again, this is just a guide for you because Abby and I do throw other things in there. So it's a base guide. So you're welcome to like fix it, change it. If the 8th doesn't work for you, then start it on the 15th. But just make sure you're giving yourself enough lead time so that you can advertise for it. So you're not just like mentioning it a couple days, but you really give yourself at least a good solid week to start talking about it on social media and get people invited to it so that there are people in there who want to be in there and not just people you just threw in this group hoping that something will come out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You actually can create an event on Facebook, kind of like we do with the team call events. They pop up on your reminders. You can invite people to it, then you can share it and talk about it. So we'll talk about all that. But yeah, give yourself like an actual clear plan. One thing that we didn't put on here is Monique and I both actually have a challenge group starting on the 8th. But I threw this one in here for those of you guys who don't have a set date for your challenge group. So the 15th kind of gives you guys, again, that 2-week lead up time to be able to invite to that and talk about it. You can do whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want. I know a bunch of coaches are doing like a 30 days till summer because it's like Memorial Day kicks off summer. So it's kind of an easy thing to talk about. But again, you do whatever you want it to be. But that would be kind of a preseason, and then your actual group would start the 22nd. But you could transition if you've already hit Success Club from talking about your challenge group to then this week talking more about coaching and things like that if you are actively looking to recruit coaches and in the Business Builders group and along those lines. And I put my due date on there so you guys know when I might be a little more MIA. So yeah. Questions on this at all that you guys have? No, you're all set. Cool.
I have a question. Is anyone following this? Do you guys print it out? Do you use it? Is this helpful for you? Are you creating your own?
It's definitely helpful for me to have an idea of what people who've been doing this a long time are doing on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying to stick to it as best I can. Also, especially with the knowing what I'm advertising.
Yeah.
It helps me to plan out my posts a little better.
All right. No, you're fine.
Yeah. Thank you. That's good feedback.
Yeah.
Also, this is Julian. My video is not working.
Okay.
This is helpful. I've honestly been really slacking with the free groups for the last couple of months, but Meg and I have already touched base about co-leading one at the beginning of May. So
awesome.
I figured if we divvied up the work, it would make it less work for both of us.
It is. Honestly, truly, that's why we keep saying how important it is to start partnering up. It doesn't necessarily have to be that success partner for you, but just partnering up as coaches together or even tripling up, it really does take such a huge stress off of it, especially if you guys you're working towards the same goals, you're pushing for the same thing, you like the same theme, or even if you just do clean eating or whatever, some free group. it really helps. It gives a different energy too to the group that you're doing, because you know, it's not just you bearing the load of posting and, you know, monitoring everyone and replying to all the comments. It's so helpful to just buddy up. So it doesn't necessarily, you know, when we say success partner, like, of course we want you guys to have success partners, but if you just buddy up and just help each other out with the groups, free groups, challenge groups, it really will help your business in so many ways, like so many ways. So I'm really glad you're doing that. Thanks, Julianne. Thanks for sharing.
Cool. So we can jump into, first of all, did any of you guys, other than Monique, because I didn't get to, listen to the National Wake Up Call today? Perfect. So we won't be you can listen to it later and get more insight.
And definitely make sure, like, I know some people work and you can't, but if you just forgot about it, like for me, I have an alarm set on my phone. Literally, it reminds me every 30 minutes before, because I forget too. I mean, I'm already 2 years into this and it's like, yeah, I know it's Monday, but I always forget. And I'm like, oh yeah, the National Wake Up Call. So, you know, it's like, I'll make sure that even if I can't listen to it, because most of the time I can, but some mornings are just kind of crazy, or someone will call me and I don't, you know, I'm not on it. And I'll make sure that as soon as I drop the kids off or get off that call or whatever, then I plug my earbuds in and just listen to the replay. So it's helpful just to put it in your calendar, or like a weekly reminder on your phone, just so you don't forget about it. Or even at night, if you know you absolutely can't listen to it in the morning, make it a nighttime reminder so that you can listen to it at night. But they're really, really good. So we wouldn't encourage you to do something that we wouldn't feel is beneficial or a waste of your time.
Yeah. I think I've told some of you guys this before, but I used to not listen to them at all just because I can never listen to them live. And I had a 4-hour drive for a recruiting trip that I was doing for work. And I listened to like 4 hours worth of National Wake Up Calls straight. And I got to my hotel at midnight and was like high on life. My like, what energy drink did you get? And I was like, I didn't. I just listened and I'm so inspired and the company is amazing. And like, it just like had me pumped up. And that's why I love them still, is there's really great tidbits and like things that super successful coaches are doing that they really just share with you. But it also just reminds you how cool this company is. So yeah, I can never listen live, but I always go back to podcasts or the replay because that helps. So, but part of today's national call was on challenge groups, but the whole first part was actually on free groups, which was ironic because that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about anyways. I know that there's some of you like Julianne, Meg, like there's a bunch of you that have done free groups in the past. There's some of you that probably, Nicole, I don't think you probably have, Alexis probably hasn't, Elise, yeah. So these are things like I have gotten away from doing these the last couple of months, but I'm going to do them again because they really do help move your business forward. So we wanted to give you guys some structure on like how to use them well, kind of expectations to have around them, and then some of the different strategies to promote and run and things like that, because you don't have to do it a cookie cutter way.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sharing my screen. Is there something you want me to show at all? I guess I don't have any free groups right now. I might have an old one I could pull up.
Sorry, this is Julianne again. Side note, I first started talking to Elise from our Working Women's group, free group.
And that was last summer, right?
Yeah, right, Elise, is that right? That was when you first connected?
Yeah, that was my first time doing a group. I was like, hey, it's free, I'm going to do it. And then I loved it. And then I wanted to do a challenge group eventually, which then she contacted me again a few months later.
That is perfect. So that's actually one of the things that we wanted to talk to you guys about, because oftentimes with free groups, you don't see an immediate, like I've never had somebody immediately want to buy a challenge pack after ending a free group, maybe once or twice.
Yeah, me too. Once or twice. I have
Elise is the perfect example of this.
The turnover is about 6 months. So it is an investment. You will get some of those one-offs, like Abby just said, that will sign up like either that month with you or maybe the month following. But truly, it's about, for me, just gauging it and seeing. I mean, I did free groups very consistently all last year. I did one like almost every single month. And it's a longer turnover, but you are giving so much value, and it also keeps your wheels spinning, and it keeps you in a very creative space. So if you feel like you're posting content, you're like getting bored, or you're like, oh, I don't know what to post today. Even if you're planning your post and you're just feeling kind of stale, free groups really get your creative brain flowing, because not only are you getting interaction, it's brand new people who've mostly never done something like this before, but you start thinking theme-wise, like this, the pumpkin spice, your booty looks nice. You know what I mean? You're like, this is fun. And I did something very similar to this. And I actually created my own workouts, and it just really gets your creative brain flowing in a completely different way. Then you have all kinds of posting content, and you're just thinking in a really, just a much different way. It gets you flowing again, like really good. So be aware that you can, and that's something that we wanted to tell you guys, is like, there's no limit to what you can do. You know, for this, we did a pumpkin, workout, clean eating group, around Halloween, right? So we did that. A lot of people do crock pot groups in like the fall because, it's really popular. Everyone wants warm soup, and there's stuff like that. You can just do straight. I actually did a free group recently for someone else's group. I'll get in. That's something else completely separate. But for someone else, for a family member, I did a free group for some of their people. And I just did straight up clean eating and workouts, like old school, right? So see, we did our own workouts like this.
So I recorded myself doing all these pumpkin workouts, and then every day there was like a free, like a pumpkin themed recipe or something.
Yes. So you could do something like that. Or we have straight up scripts that we have so many scripts, you guys, but there are straight up scripts that like, you don't have to put all this work into it, but it'll tell you exactly every day what to post. And then you could just put your own spin on it. You can do some groups that have nothing to do, like I was mentioning from our calendar, that have absolutely nothing to do with clean eating or food or workouts or anything at all. And a lot of the top coaches actually are doing that right now, because if you choose something that really means something to you, you're actually dialing into your niche. Like you're just shooting them straight in the heart, right? So if you, like, for instance, we're doing, and it's not because of Mother's Day or anything, but one of my most successful groups, I didn't even do it in May last year. I did it in June, and I called it a Mom Strong group. And it was all based on how moms put themselves last. They don't put themselves first. I had all these like inspirational posts, not just quote, but actual posts about motherhood and all this stuff. It was my absolute most successful free group I've ever done. I had over 150 people in there, and that was organic. It wasn't like I forced anyone to be in there. Like they wanted this, right? And I was dialing into my niche. So that was, again, my most successful group. But like I told you, it guys took about, 6 months to turn over into like challengers. But those are the ones that are going to get you feeling good. The ones that are closer to your heart, like the ones that are just clean eating and recipes, like those are good because people like the info. It's free value. You're giving value. You're helping someone. But the ones that are near and dear to your heart, I think, are the ones that you're going to thrive in, and they'll receive it best because you're going to really pour a lot of good content into it.
Like Monique was saying, there's so many scripts out there. So you guys, like, there's different formats where I've seen people do 3-day groups, 5-day groups, a week-long group with a week of prep in there. Like, there's different scripts that you can make. I would just make sure that when you do a free group, you really invest in it, because even if those people don't convert the next week into challengers, you want them to have this like great experience and get kind of a mini taste of what you have to give as a coach. And I guess maybe Elise, like, since we have you as this like awesome guinea pig right here, because I did that group with Julianne last summer, so I remember doing it. What was it for you, I guess, that like 6 months later, however long it was, made you want to actually do a challenge group? Can you maybe walk us through what that transition was like for you?
I think it was mostly I think I had seen people do challenge groups before, but I just didn't know enough about it that I wasn't willing to commit $150 to $200 to just really do it. So getting to have just the taste of it and see exactly what I was getting myself into, it made me kind of see the value more, I think, rather than just, having it explained in a bullet point list. Being able to experience it and see that the value was really worth it. And then, honestly, I think the reason why I didn't just jump right into it was because I just was tired, and that time of life was really busy. So I just really needed to wait till it was something that I could really commit to. And then, honestly, I forgot about it. And then Julianne messaged me, and I was like, oh, yeah, I really did want to do that, and now's a good time. So why not? So
the power of the invite, right?
Totally.
And now look at you. You're like rocking out as a coach. And that was the group I think that we had done the on-demand workouts for, right? We actually had
day trial.
Yeah, perfect. One thing, and I guess, Monique, if you want to take it a different direction, I was just going to maybe walk them through like showing them how to do an event and like the different scripts sources that are available, unless you wanted to do something else before we show that.
Mm-mm. So just like Abby said, there's a bunch, I'm going to just, before I get into that, I will tell you guys, one of the mistakes that I made is I did run free groups consistently every single month, but you're going to hear, especially when you listen to National Wake Up Calls, or if you get on like the Dream Team calls on Mondays or anything like that, you're going to start hearing coaches that do them all kinds of different ways. And it's going to work for them so amazing, and it's going to sound like it's the best thing ever. And maybe your free groups aren't really going so well right now, and so you decide to switch it up and do it that way because it sounds like it's the best way ever. And then next month on the National Wake Up Call, someone else does their free groups a completely different way, and you're like, what the heck? I just thought that coach just said it was the best ever, and she's like all the way at the top, and she seems like she's making so much money and doing so great. Like, how is this better? Okay, let me try this way. And so then all of a sudden, yes, you're being consistent, because this is what happened to me. I was consistent in doing free groups, but I kept switching up the strategy and doing them differently. And I really don't feel that served me very well, because I wasn't consistent in the way I was doing. I didn't at least try them long enough in one way to really get a gauge and say, hey, is this working for me, or am I just jumping all over the place, right? So like Abby said, you could do them for 3 days. You could do them for 5 days. We have done them every single which way. I haven't done really 3 days. I think the shortest one I've ever done is like a week. I've done it for 2 weeks, where I've done a whole full prep week before and then a week of the group afterwards. So it's like a 2-week long group. But you can also do them like events. Like you can start it and just do the whole free group in an event. And the benefit of doing it as an event versus doing it in an actual closed group is that if you do it as a public event off of your page, every time you post in your page, in the group, in the event, it goes onto your page. And so your followers see that people are posting in there, that there's some activity in this group, in this event, and they click it because they want to join it. If anyone clicks going on there, their friends who you're not even connected to are notified that, Abby is going to Monique's event, and you're like, who is this person now that's going to this event? And all of a sudden you're creating this momentum of people going because it's in a public event. So
that's a really good strategy too, just thinking ahead to like challenge groups. Like as you guys are thinking ahead to advertising your challenge group, you can make an event for it, weeks in advance and start inviting people to it and follow up. So I'm trying to pull up one of my old ones to see. These are ones I'm going to.
Was there like a Country Heat event or something that you?
Yeah, I know. It might have like been too old. I might have to pull up I might have done it from my like page. I'll go to that. So yeah, the events one, would it be helpful for us to show you guys, you all know how to set up an event, right? On Facebook. Yeah. So you super easy. And one thing that I like to do is actually create the event and then invite, you can mass invite people or go through and invite people. And then I will invite them through the event. So once they're invited, they will get notifications about it, but then I'll follow that up with a private message and be like, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm doing this free Crock-Pot group, thought you might be interested. So I sent you an event invite, just click you're attending, blah, blah, blah. So then it's a little bit more personal. So that kind of helps as well. I wonder if they're like all gone. Oh, past events. Here we go. So you guys can see, like, this is a free group one that I did. So I just made it, and so you can see there was people interested. I put all the details in, and we're always happy to share any of these things with you guys. So you can like go on our page and just rip them off. I don't care. But I kind of like tell to be added, here's what you need to do. So I've tried a couple different things because this is what some other coaches did, and then request to join the group. But then as people post in it, you can kind of start seeing, oh, okay, Loretta really liked the unstuffed cabbage, but that shows up on my wall. And then all these people are being like, oh, Abby has good recipes for crock pots. That's helpful. Like, I'm interested. So events, you should do them for free groups for sure. Whether or not you're going to run the group through the event. If you're going to direct them to a separate Facebook page, still create an event for it a week or so in advance. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
No, I was trying to think what else.
So in terms of finding like what to do, like Monique was saying, I think the best ones are always ones that are close to your heart. I will also do events for exclusive groups. Like I've done the women working shaving. This is the one that Lise was in. So that's funny. But like I did one specific to Core de Force launch. So whenever there's a program launch, and we'll talk about this summer, but as they're launching like new programs, you can talk it up and do an event through that. And I'll usually do a specific challenge group just for that, just for that program, things like that you can do. But all of you guys should hopefully have been in our team Google Docs. Do you all know that exists? Yes. Okay. So we have a whole, like if you click on this, the link is in here, but we have scripts in here that you guys can see if you just access the Google Docs form. But there's also a script swap group, and I can actually go into there. Would that be helpful to show them that?
The script swap? Probably.
So yeah, you guys all know you can click on here. But script swap, if you're not added into it, talk to your upline about getting you in. But this is a group that's specifically just for Dream Team coaches, which you guys are a part of, because Monique and I are both part of it. And this is where a bunch of, so poor Rachel, looks like no one got back to her on that. But a bunch of coaches have shared, like, honestly, guys, oodles of scripts that they've used. And
so
it's
you can just search in the little search bar. So if you're looking for, like, let's say crock pot, right? Like search crock pot.
Okay, and one thing, just so you know, if no one caught on to this, Facebook did this weird swap in groups. So now instead of everything being on the top for groups, it's on the side. So you can see them all in the files, but if I just type crock pot, it's going to pull up. And I use this all the time just to modify, like I may just use it verbatim, but okay, she has all the recipes, crock pots and cardio. Oh, look at, she even has a banner made, so you don't even have to create that. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
Another version. So it's the best casseroles. And then you can actually go into the files section, and these are not just free group ones, but there's a ton of free group stuff in here.
But like that's just a 5-day water challenge, because how many people have cannot drink their water every day, right? So just to keep them accountable for drinking water for 5 days, so simple. You're really helping someone who needs help. It adds value, especially like with summer coming and it's hot. Like you could really just scroll through and be like, oh, that sounds fun. That sounds like something I'd want to try. That sounds like something I could do. That's really easy. The 5-day sugar detox. Sugar detox is huge. People talk about that all the time. Sugar is a huge addiction. And people get really excited about it. Like whenever I see other people, I've personally never done one, although I probably should at some point.
People usually do it like after Halloween or Easter or something like that. So this girl literally shared her entire, once it loads here, her entire script, all her images. So you guys can totally just copy and paste, schedule it out, or, make it your own, but it's really nice to not have to reinvent the wheel. So yeah, script swap.
So use the resources that are out there, because there's so many out there that you don't have to take the time to create all this stuff and figure it all out yourself. Just choose a topic and run with it, really. I mean, if that didn't work, if it didn't really go over, then you're like, okay, next month I can do something a little different. I did one, you could even really, if you like makeup, I did this one where I did booty and beauty. So I gave them workouts, and I gave them a meal plan. It was optional. They didn't have to do it. But the post that I posted every day was super simple, DIY, face masks, all natural you could make all natural makeup, and it was really easy recipes to do. DIY, overnight masks and face masks and stuff like that. Cause there's a ton of girls that makeup, people are leaning towards the natural makeup, natural, stuff like that, like skincare. So I did something like that, and that was a ton of fun too. It was even fun for me to find those recipes that were I'm like, oh, I could totally make my own blush at home. You know what I mean? With crushed raspberries, that's pretty rad. Who knew, So really you could do it on any friggin' topic that you want. And like I said, Lindsay Matway this morning on the National Wake Up Call gave a ton of good ideas of other things that you can do that she's done herself too.
And then what you want to do is, once you have people in your free group, is you want to continue that relationship. And so you can, like, usually what I will do is halfway through the group, I will shoot them a message and be like, hey, Elise, congrats on making it halfway through the challenge. Hope it's going well for you. Just wanted to touch base. Are there, depending on what it was about, like, are there more recipes you'd like to see or whatever, just kind of opening the door of conversation. And again, knowing that when you message people on Facebook, your stuff is showing up on their timeline more. And then as the challenge group wraps up, I usually do an invite to my next group. So I would be like, hey, Lise, so great having you in the challenge. I wanted to extend before I open it up to anybody because I make it sound exclusive. Like, I'm doing my next group. It's starting on this day. If you liked what this was, I would love to have you in the next one. So again, doing that through private messages, even though I will probably do a check-in post in the group as a whole, still following up individually with each person in there. One way that I got, and it was almost, I'll be honest, it was overwhelming. And a few of these people have now turned into customers, but it's been a slow conversion, but was doing it, posting ads for these in free groups or like garage sale groups. So if you guys don't know how to find garage sale groups on Facebook, if you just search
or if you're in moms groups, any kind of big groups that you're in Facebook, if you're in mommy groups or mommy resale groups or, buy, sell, trade groups or anything like that.
I'm in ones in Texas, guys, all over the country, but you just you want to read through their, oftentimes they'll have a pinned post saying, hey, don't do anything that's sometimes they'll say Beachbody or, whatever. So I stay away from those, but you can literally here. Yeah, perfect. So this was an ad I did. I had 400 women in this group. And then I went through and was able to friend request a lot of them. So it grew my network a ton, but I made this little image actually just in WordSwag on my phone. See if I can find it. And I just did this and it got so many people who were interested. So it was a free group, a week's worth of recipes, a meal plan grocery list, a workout every day. And that was literally, it was a week-long free group that was moms. And so many people, you can see add me. I didn't know any of these people, but I did add them all and I ended up with almost 500 people in that group. So it was this one wasn't even a picture of me. I just did it on the font thing. And so you can post ads for challenge groups in there, but garage sale sites are a really great way to get some extra traction. And maybe add to your network a little bit. So I went through and added these 400 people because I posted this in 20 different groups. I added all these women, replied to them. So I said, great, sent you a friend request. If you can add me, I'll get you added to the group. And then added them in there and followed them up. So I've had a few now customers come out of that. It's been months later, but that's been a slow build that you can do as well. So hopefully.
But who isn't, who's your coach that hit Success Club this month? She came out of this free group, out of the garage sale group.
Yes, no, she did not. It was a different one.
Are you sure?
Michaela? Yeah.
No, not Michaela. Hold on. Sorry.
I don't think anyone in here. I do have a coach that came out of this group, but she's not actively working right now.
I thought it was. No, not Michaela. Maybe I am thinking of something else.
Yeah, I've had
Kendra. No?
Nope. She's a friend from college.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get people again. So
Yeah.
This is a great resource that you can use once you feel like you've tapped out your warm market to just share this. You can literally go in, if you want this, I'll send you this whole script and this picture. I don't care. And you can use it and use that kind of a thing. So do you guys have questions on this at all? We have 2 minutes left, so. Julianne, you've done free groups before. If you're still on, have you found ways to maximize this that we haven't talked about so far?
I think you guys have covered most of it. I have never personally tried running one entirely through an event, but what I would do is I would still create an event invitation and then people who check, because then people can easily click interested or attending, which people are much more inclined to do that than to respond to a message or to reach out. And then I would just go ahead and follow up with each of them and add them to the event. But yeah, this was really helpful. I guess I did have a question regarding the garage sale groups. Mm-hmm. So I've looked for a bunch of those and almost every single one says no like no Beachbody, no multi-level marketing, no anything. So where do you find the ones that don't have those limitations?
You just have to go through all of them.
You just have to look. So it does take some time. But what I found is like this one, like I would feel so comfortable sharing this kind of ad in one that doesn't specify Beachbody because it's free. There's nothing referenced about Beachbody in it at all.
And truly, if you get kicked out of it because you violated their rules, there are a million other groups. I'm literally in like 500 groups, you guys. I'm not kidding. When I slam my posts out, I just copy, paste the same thing to like 40 or 50 groups at a time. And even the ones that say like, oh no, no posting or whatever on this day. The ones that say like at Monday marketing only, I kind of abide to those because I know like if everyone's only doing it on Mondays, mine's going to stick out like a sore thumb. But if it just says like no weight loss thing or whatever, I don't care. I just post it. And if they want to kick me out because I have 29 other groups that I can post. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to hurt my feelings that you kick me out of your freaking random group. Like I don't even know. So for me, it doesn't matter. But I'm not a rule follower, so I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't play by the rules. I play by mine.
Yeah. So yeah, if it's general like this where it's free, I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah.
And usually I will always make sure like tag your friends, invite your friends because I want people to go. So looks like we have less than a minute left. So we get awkwardly cut off.
Okay, well, if you guys